I've watched a lot of football games in my time. I've played in football games throughout my time. I have never seen a team fumble the ball as bad as they did in perfect weather conditions than the Rams did against the Bucks. I've never seen anything like it. To me, listen, it is pure speculation to think whether or not that game was fixed between both the Rams and the Bucks. But from my perspective, it kind of tended to be in the possibility that I thought that that game was somewhat fixed. Because, look, they weren't playing in Lambeau Field where it was like 10 degrees outside, it's snowing, and just the weather conditions are playing a factor. In Tampa, it was in the maybe like high 50s, low 60s with perfect weather conditions. And yet, for some odd reason, the Rams could not hold on to the football. I mean, 5 total fumbles from the Rams. They lost 4 of them. I've never seen a team be so careless with ball security throughout my entire life in one single game than the Rams were in that NFC divisional game. And it just some of these plays that happened were just so odd. I mean, Kevin, the Rams strip sacked Tom in the fourth quarter. And then the next play, the Rams center doesn't know the snap count and snaps it when Matt Stafford is making an audible at the line of scrimmage. And freaking Matt's got to run 25, 30 yards back to try to scoop up the ball. He doesn't do it. The Bucs get the ball back, and I think they end up scoring a touchdown on the next drive, or at least a field goal. I forget how the game played out in that particular moment, but I know they scored after. And then when you look at the end of the game, after Brady hit up Mike Evans on that 55-yard touchdown where he beat Jalen Ramsey, 2nd and 6, Cam Akers has already fumbled the ball once in the game, and then he fumbles it again. It was kind of funny because in my head I'm thinking it's like something's going to happen here. I don't know what it was. I don't know the sense that I had in my head was, but it's like I got a feeling that something is going to happen where the Bucs get the ball back in some sort of dramatic fashion. And sure enough, Cam Akers fumbles the ball on 2nd and 6. The Bucs get the ball back. They end up scoring on that drive to tie it 27-27. And now it's a game. Now, granted, the Rams did win that game. But to me, had the Rams lost that game, the amount of people that would have been screaming that that game was fixed would even be louder than what it is currently. Because I've seen him do these amazing comebacks before. But to me, this seemed a little too much. This seemed a little bit too far-fetched the way that it played out, in my personal opinion.
I agree completely. It looked so weird that we're talking about the Rams. They didn't come out flat in the second half. They scored. Not in their first drive, but they scored. Their defense was still doing everything they needed to do in order to stop a very hot, dominant, and obviously resurgent offense that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's not an easy feat. And for you to tell me that they're going to fumble 4 straight times on multiple possessions to a point where you're like, bro, are you kidding me? Your offensive line is one of the better ones in the league. You don't know the snap count and some of the most serious plays. And again, I understand mistakes can be made, but over and over and over, like consistently it happened. I think the actual final 4 drives the final 7 drives were just absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just sitting here like, hold on a second. Hold on, I have the actual pin tweet right here. The Rams' final 7 drives ended in a fumble, punt, fumble, missed field goal, punt, fumble, and then they win the game with a field goal. That's 3 fumbles in 7 possessions and a missed field goal. In which, that in and of itself, once again, beautiful weather, no wind, your all-pro, Pro Bowl kicker can't make the distance of a 47-yard field goal. I'm pretty sure Matt Gay's career long is somewhat in the 55-yard range, and I've seen him make some pretty damn good field goals this season. You're going to shorthand a 47-yarder? 47. No wind. Just it's things like that. Jalen Ramsey, best corner in the NFL. One-on-one coverage, Mike Evans. Is Mike Evans one of the better receivers in the league? Absolutely. Did Tom Brady put a dime on him? Absolutely. You're going to tell me on a go route, you're just going to let Mike blow by you. Like, and I mean like just right by you. Like you didn't open your hips in time, like just okay. Like he literally like looked at Mike as he scored, like what, like he was just like kind of sad. But his demeanor, he wasn't like angry. He wasn't like, what the fuck? Like he didn't trip, he didn't fall. Mike didn't hit him with a double move. Like there was too many things that just looked to be like, this just happened at this time, and you're gonna make me think that this is completely not planned. And again, mistakes happen, man. I understand. I'm not a Buccaneers fan. I am not a Rams fan. I'm not a Buccaneers hater. I'm not a Rams hater. Do I not like Tom Brady? Yes. But the fact that Tom still had a pretty bad game should show you it definitely wasn't a Tom Brady led comeback. It was the Rams literally stepping on their own dicks. And I use the air quotes very, very lightly because we all know, and by we all, I mean me, Kyle, and a couple of other people that I've spoken to, believe that this game had to be made more entertaining. They maybe had to cover their spread for Vegas because if this would have proceeded, this would have been an annihilation of no other to a defending Super Bowl champion at home, the number 2 seed, and a quarterback who's really only had 2 or 3 meaningful playoff football games because obviously Matt Stafford, prior to winning last week, was 0-3 in the playoffs prior to coming to LA. You're going to tell me Matt Stafford and this team just roll around and just fuck up 5 straight times or 7 straight drives? Excuse me, I should say 6 because the game-winning field goal was the 7th drive.